Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. In this post, I want to talk about the ongoing psychological operations being waged against the American people. It involves dividing us by race, sexuality, religion. We see it every day in the headlines. Something anti Islamic, something black versus white, something man versus woman. If you're new to my work, I show how the stories waged against us are waged by the numbers, by a set of coded numbers, which are very much in this Joshua Duggar story, which we will get to. If you're new to my work, what you're watching is video number 670 or something like that. This was my 35th video. When I first started this channel, I tried to set up what I was doing, what it was about, what I'd been documenting, and I talked about things such as how the mainstream media, for its entire existence, has always been a military operation for the purpose of psychological control. And that psychological control is much greater than I knew when I first started this research. But just from unwinding the ball that I've been unwinding, I've come to see how deep it is. Up here on the screen, what I was showing in this video, which you are more than welcome to watch, I recommend you do, I talk about how the Department of Defense U.S. Army Field Manual has Rule 33-1 that talks about the psychological operations program that is even waged against its own domestic population, the United States. And so often in these military programmed stories that are presented to us as real news, the number 33 is coded within. It is even true of this story of Joshua Duggar. And if you don't understand what something like this would ever have to do with military, you have to think about what the ultimate purpose of military is. It is for the purpose of control and carrying out the agenda you want. And right now in the United States, a major part of that agenda is having the population subdued. And at this day and age, I think a lot of men are more subdued by pornography, which this story is largely about, and sex than at any point before. You know, I think sex has always been used as a weapon against people, no doubt. But I think at this day and age, with the computer and pornography and women's clothing, it is at an unprecedented level. So real quick before we do any decoding, let's get into this mainstream coverage. And notice as we watch this how hypocritical the media is. They're telling people where they can go out and find the information of all the couples that signed up for Ashley Madison, the website about married people who secretly consent to other married people to cheat on their spouses with. All this information's been dumped on the public. We can all go get it off the internet. And the media is telling everybody all day where they can go to find this information, which is just another wrong action in itself. Two wrongs don't make a right. We all know this, but the media always tries to teach us differently. So let's watch this mainstream coverage, and let's notice how they put the woman on there, the nice, young, cute woman, to talk about this very sexually laced story. This is all part of the psychological operations. They got her in hot pink. Very obvious, truth seeker, once you're awake.
Traditional family values. So when this came out, he issued his statement. Now we have his initial statement. Let me read it for you. He says, "I've been the biggest hypocrite ever while espousing faith and family values. I've secretly over the last several years been viewing pornography on the internet, and this became a secret addiction. I became unfaithful to my wife." He's since revised that to take out some of the pornography part, but he is admitting to wrongdoing in light of this massive, massive data breach, John.
So, his name came out earlier today. It was like, is it really him? We don't know. We have to verify it. You did cross-checking. Now the cross-checking is irrelevant. He came out and flat out admitted it.
Yeah, and he didn't admit to being on Ashley Madison. He came out and lied to this. But I will say there has now been another data dump, right? Right now, as we speak, we're sifting through twice the amount of data that has just been put out on the web. And this kind of data, they actually had a message, and I want to read you this message. The hackers said this to the CEO. They said, "Hey, Noel, you can admit it's real now." Because essentially, the company had said, this might not necessarily be a data dump. And in this, I've been talking to security researchers. What they've said is there's actually open source code proving that it is that. And what's very scary about that, John, is now that this open source code is out there, anyone can hack Ashley Madison's site.
Quickly, these are people who largely put in their own names that are going to be found out?
A lot of people do. A lot of people use fake names, but when you cross-reference it with home addresses, phone numbers, the end of your credit card information, there's millions and millions of people on the site, and people are now analyzing it via company, last name, and putting it on that open web for anyone to see it, John.
Are there really millions and millions of people on the site? I mean, that's hard to believe. But anyway, Truth Seeker, all these headlines come in the light of everything else we're being bombarded with. Donald Trump is making all sorts of misogynistic comments. I've talked about how the name Trump is coded with the word, or the number 88, the number of poison and program. And notice that Joshua Duggar is born March 3rd, 3-3, like the number of the psychological operations, in the year 88. And this number is also very special to the mainstream media for another reason. Let us examine the numerology of the date he was born, March 3rd, 1988. This is a date with 113 numerology. The words mainstream, green screen, and dishonest all have gematria of 113, a number so often coded into hoaxes. If you watch my videos, I sound like a broken record talking about it. He has a life number of 32. This is the America number. America in Pythagorean gematria is 32. The date 7/4/1776 has numerology of 32. Even in this reporting we were just watching, which I closed. Let me pull it back up here. I want to show you something. Just within CNN's own reporting, the number right there, Truth Seeker, 32 million people who used the cheating website Ashley Madison, supposedly. That's really hard for me to believe, but perhaps it's true. No matter these values that we, this is part of what I see as a society, Truth Seeker. My values aren't in line with everyone else's. I have my own, personal beliefs and what I've seen from living in this world and having my own parents and, being in relationships. I am not sure that we have ever been told the truth about sexuality and man and woman. I should have made the point that man and woman also sums to 113. Anyhow, I don't know if we've ever been told the truth about sexuality with all the cheating. I mean, almost everybody I know cheats. My own parents, almost everybody I know, It's just like it's an epidemic. And when you look at it, these values aren't in line with the Bible and the gospel. Today's the 232nd day of the year, Gematria of Gospel. We're getting this major programming about sexuality, marriage, cheating. But all these values, they come from religious doctrine. And what I have speculated since I was a kid is that we have been purposefully told how to live wrong so that we are forever burdened with these same problems that plague humanity and torture our existence so much as people. Because I think what kills a lot of us in this world, a lot of us are just walking corpses essentially because of the awful things that have been done to us. And, for a lot of us, those things have to do with sexual problems, being cheated on by our spouse or someone we really loved and cared about. And at the same time, it's so easy to see why it happens. All the sexual programming everywhere. The clothes people are wearing. The values that are being promoted. And they're promoted by this same mainstream media that wants to hang up people for them. Like Joshua Duggar. I hope I'm making sense. With regards to the Bible, the Bibles of 66 books, like the name Joshua James Duggar, like the Gospel, today's date, the 232nd date. Also, Truth Seeker, we're on the day that leaves 133 days remaining in the year. And the word temptation in gematria is 133. Temptation. When people give into pornography, give into cheating, they're giving into temptation. I don't think it's any coincidence. As I say, and I've been saying, they wage all these stories by the numbers. They link up all their stories by the numbers. And since my earliest videos, I've been talking about how they use the book of Revelation as their playbook. Revelation uses the numbers 7 and 4 more than any other numbers. 7 and 4 in Revelation. The reason I bring that up is because the most central figure in the Bible is Jesus, who has gematria of 74, and the English translation of Jesus is Joshua, which is the name of this man who's on blast today. Joshua, 74. Jesus is said to be the Messiah, a word with 74 gematria. Some say Jesus is Jewish, a word with 74 gematria. He was crucified on the cross at 74, at age 33. Cross, a word with 74 gematria. The word Christian in Pythagorean gematria is 47, the reflection of 74. In the Quran, it's the 47th book that first speaks of Muhammad. In the Quran, he's said to be the latest prophet since Jesus, with gematria of 74. I say this is no coincidence, Truth Seeker. I say this is evidence, fingerprints of the gang who have done this to us. The word Masonic is 74, and I assert it's Freemason Zionists who have edited religious texts all for this numerical balance. In Revelation, the 66th and final book of the Bible, it is said that the synagogue of Satan will rule in the end times. Notice the Masonic Jewish gematria of 223. The synagogue of Satan has this gematria of 223 as well. And in Revelation, it says the false Jews, the synagogue of Satan, will rule in the end times. Think about this world you live in. Think about who dominates this mainstream media. Look at the names. All Zionist Jew names. That's not anti-Semitic to say. That's the truth. Done so much work exposing what these people have done. In the Bava Kama 113a says that a Jew can circumvent a Gentile by lying to them. 113, the number that Joshua Duggar is connected to, that's coded all over our mainstream media. Born in 88. Notice how program ends with the AM 113 coding. It's all just so perfect. The media is the real biggest hypocrite ever. These Zionists who do this to us are the real biggest hypocrites ever. They have trained us to be so bad to ourselves and each other. And this is what it's all about. One psychological operations after the next. Look at the rest of these headlines, Truth Seeker. Caitlyn Jenner could face manslaughter. That's another story by the numbers. I've already done it. Kim Howe, the person he killed on February 7th, has gematria just like Caitlyn. Numbers special to United States of America as well, just like this story. A Catholic rape trial reminding us of all the child rape in the Catholic Church. The word priest has 33 gematria. Bush stands firm on anchor baby comment. I'm thankful I don't even know what the hell that's about. I guarantee you it's more bullshit. Is an asteroid about to hit? What NASA says. You know, they really are trying to bring this in our minds with things such as the Philae comet landing story. Remember Philae, a 33 word? 33, the number of the psychological operations. This guy's birthday, March 3rd, the 62nd day of the year. The word Mason has gematria of 62, short for Freemason. Highest degree of 33. That Freemason G, Truth Seeker, there is a form of gematria. Francis Bacon used it on the King James Bible, supposedly. He was one of the final editors. The first 26 letters of the alphabet, A through Z, when they're lowercase, are worth 1 through 26. And uppercase letters, A through Z, are worth 27 through 52. So that uppercase G, the symbol for Freemasonry, uppercase G is the 33rd letter in that symbol. Just another 33 tribute. NASA was founded on March 3rd in history, established on 3-3. Philae comet landing. They gave us Asteroid Day this year on June 30th. They've been giving us all these hints at the Deep Impact movie. Even the death of Morgan Freeman's granddaughter through marriage. Activist defends his racial identity in the Black Lives Matter psychological operations, which I've well decoded. I'm going to do another video on. Jon Stewart is a debate moderator. See, it's all a big joke, Truth Seeker. They're going to have the guy telling the jokes for the last more than a decade be the debate moderator. I know a lot of you like Jon Stewart, but he's part of the gang. And what am I talking about? How Zionists rule TV. Jon Stewart's like the best Zionist out there, maybe. But he could do more. You know, like he could promote me. Somehow Jon Stewart, if he was searching for the truth, he could find my videos and promote me. He's world rich. He could help me expose what I've exposed about cancer. Look at this. This 44-minute ticker's up here. I did a video about Jimmy Carter forever ago and how this 44-minute ticker was up there because the word cancer is 44, like chemo, like kill. All right, Truth Seeker, I'm just ranting. I think I've put the message home. The mainstream media is the real biggest hypocrite ever. They've raised us to be a nation of hypocrites by giving us impossible standards. They have us living the lie, Truth Seeker. Teaching us to live the lie from a young age, reinforcing the lie, telling us stories about cheating websites with 32 million people. You got to see through it, Truth Seeker. Help spread the word. All right, until next time.